You've heard these words on the radio. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. They're supposed to be reassuring words when we hear them over the airwaves, but a new Center 5 investigation has found the EBS system, which is supposed to protect us, is failing the public miserably.
As part of our exclusive investigation, News Center 5 helped set up the first unscheduled after-hours test of the system in years. David Ropeik reports the results were so disastrous, civil defense officials are promising major changes now in the system.
This is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
For years, these tests have been held only during the day, only Monday through Friday. And the tests are always scheduled. Stations know they're coming in advance. But this past Tuesday night, an unscheduled test was run, and the emergency broadcasting system was a near total failure.
I think we pretty much proved last night that when we don't tell them it's coming and when we run it off hours, it does not work.
Here's how it's supposed to work. The State Civil Defense Agency, now known as the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, or MEMA, makes phone calls to specially designated primary radio stations and tells them what message to run. MEMA then sends a fax to each of those stations as a backup. Tuesday night, MEMA called primary stations WCGY in Lawrence, WBMX in Boston, and WPLM in Plymouth. This was the message they were supposed to send out.
If this had been an actual emergency, the attention signal you just heard would have been followed by official information, news, or instructions.
But at WCGY in Lawrence, one of the designated primary stations, its operator got the phone call and fax from the Emergency Management Agency, but the station engineer did nothing after the phone call and threw out the fax. So WCGY never broadcast the test message.
There's some serious gaps in the system at the moment. It did not work well last night.
Primary stations like CGY are supposed to send out not only the message, but this familiar tone. That tone sets off alarms like these in control rooms at all the other radio stations in the area. And then every station is supposed to either put the message right on the air or record it and rebroadcast it within half an hour. But since WCGY's transmitter did not send out the message or the tone, no other radio station in the northeast part of the state got the message or sent it out. In the region of Massachusetts that includes the evacuation zone for Seabrook, the emergency broadcasting system failed. WCGY refused our request for an interview. The system also failed in the southern part of the state, which includes the evacuation area for Pilgrim. WPLM in Plymouth is the primary station here, and they got the message and sent it out. But the other 10 stations in the region say they never got the message from PLM, so none of them rebroadcast it.
The people that needed to be notified would not have been notified through the radio's EBS system.
They would have been left in jeopardy.
They would have been left in jeopardy, yes.
And the system also failed in the Boston area. Of 30 stations in the system in this area, 12 never got the message. And of the 18 that did get it, only 4 of them sent it back out, which every station is required to do. Bruce, who is the chief engineer at WBMX, the main primary station in the system, thinks one problem is the lack of training for station engineers who work at night.
Those are the initial jobs where people try to get their foot into radio. You come into an overnight position, you get promoted out of it. People are constantly coming in and out of those spots, and I don't think they get the training that's required.
Radio stations don't give night shift or overnight engineers the training they need because the stations know that the Emergency Management Agency never tests the system after hours.
It's never been done spontaneously or just out of the regular workday, and I think that caught everybody by surprise. I think probably people weren't trained. We're going to have to do them on a more frequent basis, on an unannounced basis, and on a off work hour basis, so that the radio stations expect or understand that when something comes through, they should react.
Rodham says that in the event of an actual emergency, wire services and news broadcasts would surely have helped trigger the system. But he promises changes, including more of these unscheduled off-hours tests and more training for radio station personnel. Until then, though, Rodham admits that the information system that is supposed to help us in case of emergencies or disasters cannot be relied on to work. Jack?
A couple of things, David. Television stations are part of this emergency broadcasting system, too. Were they part of this test, or?
They were not part of this test. Television stations, as you're probably aware, normally test the system during the week. But when these tests are run after hours, TV stations don't have to rebroadcast the test message, just log that it came in. Tuesday night, channels 4, 5, 7, 25, 66, and 68 logged that their equipment worked, and they got the message. Channels 2, 38, 44, and 56 have no record of ever having received the message.
All right, David, thanks.
Thank you, David.